A wintry day from Segra Field finds two young MLS Next Pro sides meeting with something to prove as Chicago Fire 2 host Carolina Core FC. Both clubs enter today searching for rhythm, identity, and most importantly, points in the early stages of the 2026 campaign. Welcome to the broadcast, everyone. My name is Ryan Davis. For Chicago, there's finally a little momentum to build on. After dropping their first two matches, the Fire broke through last week with a 2-1 win over Chattanooga FC, their first victory of the season. A lot of first-team players dropped down, and now the youngsters are back in action. Chicago looks like this. Pratt back in goal. Sandmeyer, who got a first-team contract, number 30, is back down in Chicago Fire 2. He gets some more run-in at the back line. This Jane comes down from the first team to get some meaningful minutes on that left-hand side. On the wing, Lute on the far side. He partners him. Poreva up top with Nig. And the Swiss forward is in the hunt for goals as this Fire team is starting to find cohesion. Carolina Core, well, after the loss in midweek in the US Open Cup, Holiday gets the start again with two successive matches today. Back in goal, Evers comes in with 5 changes being made. Montenegro finds his spot back again in midfield. Balogun was brought in this week, the veteran former Miami FC player. He gets his start tonight as a hold-up player at centre forward for Carolina Core. Can the Foxes turn things around in Segra Field today? Well, 39 degrees is the call at kickoff. Long sleeves, gloves, and blistery weather is on call or on the menu for this match. Chicago, like we said, finally got their first win last week. Carolina Core, 3 losses in a row. Lost 4 of their last 5, dating back to last year. Wholesale changes being made in the off-season. You can understand why the Foxes are having a hard time finding their footing. Head coach Jonathan Ricketts is doing a job in trying to find some strong footing for these young players, try to find their rhythm in this season. It's not easy in the MLS Next Pro. No more easy matches as these two teams try to find some rhythm in the early part of the 2026 season. It'll be Carolina Core in all white, going from right to left. Balogun kicks us off. The Foxes were up 2-0 against Virginia Dream at home on Wednesday. They gave up 3 goals in the second half, all in the last 15 minutes. The last one, the backbreaker in the 95th minute, to lose and bow out of the US Open Cup. Only 2 MLS Next Pro sides are in the US Open Cup, Chattanooga and Carolina Core, so it's left with just one. And the Core trying to go on the front foot immediately on the road. Shot reins in, and the first touch for Pratt, who is finding his form as well in between the posts. As for Chicago Fire, they beat Chattanooga FC by 2-1. Borso, who's playing right back, number 27 on the near side of your screen. He had the 2 assists in that match. He was the player of the match, the Adidas player of the match. Borso, a natural winger, but to find his way into the MLS, has agreed to play right back going forward. Kaiser's throw. Balogun, the big man up top. And now the Fire trying to bake with Lute. Coming across is Evers, who gets his start today. Didn't start on Wednesday. Lute. Important touch by Evers. And the first touch for Kaiser, the Ecuadorian left back, who was brought in the off-season. One of the new arrivals for this Carolina Core roster. Ryan Davis with you. Enjoying this MLS Next Pro early part of the season. Sandmeyer, who coach Mike Matkovich spoke so highly of. He's in the centre-back pair, partnering Cups in the back line. Balogun outside, Diaz. The back heel by Balogun, and Borso read it all the way. Turning in midfield is the number 29, It's going to be a goal kick. At number 25 is none other than Poreba, who's now turning to be a little bit of a veteran for this Chicago Fire 2 team. Starting to feel the need and the pressure in 2026. You see him backing up into midfield just in top of the D. And a slip by Pratt allows Balagoon to get onto it. He tries a shot, but the goalkeeper is back on his feet. Now tempting the Foxes to come forward. Lutz flick, that's Borso. Balagoon, the former Inter Miami player in the USL Championship. He's certainly made his way, certainly made his rounds around the divisions in US soccer, Balagoon. And a free kick now for the Foxes on this near side. There was a teasing run by Diaz, who instigated the contact. And now we're going to have John hovering over this one. John started midweek against Virginia Dream in that loss in the US Open Cup. 4 white shirts or grey shirts in the 6-yard box in Pratt's kitchen. 1 player on top the 18-yard box, 2 at the last post. That's 7 altogether. And John, with a wasteful effort, I tell you what, Jonathan Ricketts, the head coach, that will give him an ulcer. Having his centre-backs coming forward, pushing 7 players into the box, and the delivery high and wide. Pratt this time sort of keeps his footing. His trajectory was a little bit low. Over the top and giving chase is Nig, the Swiss forward. Here's the Ecuadorian left back in Kaiser. Cups dispossessed. Balagoon using that size, but the big man was offside. Free kick for Chicago. Chicago got some support from their Golden Boot winner, Shukaluk. He had 2 goals in the Chattanooga FC win just a week ago. Shukaluk, one of those players being promoted from the Fire 2 to the MLS team. Coach Mike Makovich just echoing the loyalty this second team has in feeding the MLS team. Shukaluk has won Omari Glasgow, the Guyanese winger. Another recent promotion last year to the first team. Borso's first touch. Trying to weave through, trying to get past Diaz, but the left midfielder has gone down. And the referee has taken exception to that tackle. He's going to have a word with Borso. A lengthy word at that. Borso just losing possession and trying to shut things down was a little bit too handsy for the referee's liking. Referee Igbor Pike, who's in charge today. Borso's clearance. Zerkane flicks it back towards Kaiser. Diaz slipping it through. Rimbaud finds Diaz. John at the back post. Back on top. Zerkane's shot, and what a save by Pratt. Well, the midfielder came forward, didn't get the start on Wednesday, gets his start today. Diaz making inroads, pulls it back on top of the box. There's Zerkane. And Pratt's reactionary save, 5 stars on Yelp. So the first corner of the match, good to see the visitors, Carolina Core, who started this game on the front foot. To the last post. It's going to be a goal kick for Chicago. Well, despite the loss to Virginia, when they were up 2-0, eventually losing to 3-2. Last week, again, up 2-0 against Orlando City. Orlando City again come roaring back, just like Virginia did in midweek. As the Core saw another lead slip by. In that loss to Virginia, Carolina Core got a goal from their right back, Tim Zegers. Zegers getting his first goal in his professional career. It was a beautiful strike on top of the box to find the top corner. Kaiser. Awkward bounce. Evers' header falls kindly. Is Porega. And Chicago Fire happy to just recycle Borso. Sanmaier got a chance to sit on the bench last night for the Fire in the MLS game. Didn't get any playing time, the big centre-back. And so coach Mike Markovich was very happy to have him back in the starting lineup today. And Diaz couldn't find it. Borso. Kaiser in his hip pocket. Eventually cleared away by Evers. Greenbolt. And the first touch for Orbo. And so too Nick Holiday. There is Zukin, who got the best out of Pratt just minutes ago. John stepping back but couldn't get back control. Well, the Core's recent signings, the target man up top, Khalid Balagun, gets his start today. So too the left back, Yahir Kaiser. Coach Donovan Ricketts immediately using the full use of his roster because of the midweek match against Virginia. Dyke Jeans throw. Fleming weaving his way, going to ground, and it's going to be a goal kick for Carolina. That was Flute coming across and just skipping through the traffic. Evers to this near side, and Kaiser can't keep possession. Well, the Chicago Fire too, coach Mike Markovich was very, very clear that he thought the Carolina Core team didn't represent their results in the opening 3 matches. He thinks they're a better team on paper than what they're showing. And he thinks this match might be a trap game for his Chicago Fire 2 team. Nig. Too much physicality, will be a free kick for the Foxes. Here's Nick Holiday, the young MLS Next Pro goalkeeper, highly rated. Prospect that teams are looking at to take that next step Orbo. Trying to find John. Salmaya. Chicago taking their time while Carolina just playing coy in that imaginary second, third line. Kaiser gets a piece of it and gets back control. Whistle goes, free kick for the court. And that's Sir Kane, who's now lying in a heap. And Hluter's asking why. These two teams met twice in 2025. In April, Carolina Core won by 2-1. Poreba, who's starting tonight, is in the lineup again today. He started the match in April last year as well. Then they played again after this summer, and they went all the way to 1-1. Got to penalties, and Chicago Fire won that exchange as well. Borso had 2 assists in his last match. Cups. Breaking lines, Hlut. Here is Hlut again, the Ukrainian centre forward. Trying to find Nig. Here's John. Zukin. There is room to counter if they can get the ball to John and Balogun just beyond the centre circle. Zukin calling for some supports. Tudin. Here is his 16-year-old. Kaiser. Balogun makes a run, gets onto it, being shouldered off by Sandmeyer. And the big 6'4" centre forward wins the free kick. Superb ball control to go along with his physicality. Balogun, you can see why Coach Donovan Ricketts picked him up. And the former Nisa NPSL player using his body, holding off Sandmeyer, feels the contact and goes over right there. So John again, who had a nightmarish first free kick, just about 3 or 4 yards from this exact space, now has 4 shoots in the 6-yard box, 1 on top. Can the core capitalize? This one is low, goes through traffic. Rainbolt! Well, the deflection was needed. Pratt was left for dead, as the very talented Rainbolt had him dead red. John's delivery was low, and it pops back out to the attacking midfielder. Great technique. And that was Sandmeyer who committed the foul. Nodded it wide for another corner kick. The left-footed Rainbolt to take. Working with the wind. Driven in. Right at the doorstep. And a handball to Diaz. Free kick for Chicago. This portion of the match is brought to you by Carvana. I want to welcome all our viewers who are just joining us. It is a blistery cold day in Segra Field, 38 degrees, toasty. And these two teams finally settling in. Carolina Core has had the better of the exchanges. Rainbow, the attacking midfielder, just brought the best out of Sandmeyer. Balogun's flick on, Diaz. Sliding tackle by Cups. Clute, who's been lively. 4 against 3. On that left foot. Inside, Fleming. Zukin. Now Diaz. Beautiful ball inside, tries to get it back. Zukin switches sides, Balgun. John. Overlapping is Zigas. Zigas trying to find the centre forward, Balgun. This is going to be a free kick as Dith Jane, the first teamer for the Fire, who's coming back down to get some minutes, picks up the foul. So the Fire, a win, a loss and a draw. Coach Markovic making it very clear that that win that they had last week against Chattanooga was largely due to some first-team players coming back down to get some meaningful minutes. Now the youngsters are back on the pitch. Can this Fire team find some rhythm? Dancing in midfield. Zukin. Diaz. Kaiser, the left back, is tucked inside. And now the righty has to provide the width. Gets past the first tackle. Here's Kaiser. Just tries to float it in. Didn't get the hook he wanted to the last post. Pratt already tested rather from the centre midfielder Zukin. Lofted cross. Dith Jane making some room for himself. Finding Clute in space. He has Nick inside. Nick rather. Borso. And credit to the core, they come back and get back in a defensive posture in a matter of seconds. Fleming. Sandmeyer. Finding Dith Jane. Sandmeyer. Well, for a centre back, he can dance. And he just got himself out of a tight situation. It's Poreba. Sandmeyer on the cusp of really making some inroads and getting some time in that first team. But his pass can't find Nagel on the far side. Well, Coach Ricketts is trying to find his way with a team that had wholesale changes at the end of 2025. Since the end of 2025, they've lost 4 or 5. And their first 3 in 2026. Player goes down, referee says play on, and now just checking on his safety. Now it's Diaz coming all the way inside from left midfield. And it's going to be a drop ball for the Fire. Cups. On that far side is Nagel. Sandmeyer thinks better of it. Excellent turn by Fleming. Now here's Nagel. Dive chains coming short. Here's Nick. Can't get past the sturdy Orba. Zirkin making the run on the far side. Balagun gets ahead to it. Fleming, dive chain. Well, the nerves are long gone. Both of these teams settling in, and Chicago Fire enjoying the lion's share of possession. Borso, full of confidence. Borso, first real save for Nick Holiday. This portion of the match is brought to you by Wintrust, Chicago's bank. Now the Cores trying to find their rhythm from their back line. And a free kick for Evers. Montenegro, who started the match in midweek, had an excellent game. Got the assist for the Foxes goal against Virginia. Zirkin. Rainbow coming deep. The 4-2-3-1 with Balagun spearheading the attack for the core. Going up against a traditional 4-4-2 of the Chicago team. Orbo. Zigas. Reverse pass. Dive chain. 3 red shirts in the box. Meek. Delicate pass. Borso. Twisting and turning the right back. He's a natural winger, Dorso. Here he is. Sandmeyer. Meek makes a run. Here he is. And Ziga's in his hip pocket, but he gets it back on a fortunate bounce. Top of the box and thumped away by Evers. And the big man Balagun earning a free kick and allowing his team to take a breather and get back possession. 26 minutes gone. Chicago Fire 2-0. Carolina Core FC 0. Despite their losses, Carolina has scored in every single match so far in this short season. They've put together 4 goals in their first 3 matches. Here's Borso. Desperate tackling by Kaiser. And what a matchup this is. The Ecuadorian Kaiser against the skillful Borso. Kaiser a little slow to get back to his feet. And you can see the wind against the assistant referee's shirt. You match that with 38 degrees. And that is a nightmare for so many people on this planet. Borso's throw. Fleming. Nigel. Tight chain. Daith Jane, acquired from South Africa. He's a U22 initiative slot, has been taken up. Borso to the last post. What a header coming from Zigas, the right back. Had Turdine, the attacking midfielder, coming all the way up to try to finish at that last post, and Zigas was alive to it. First corner kick for Chicago Fire. 5 red shirts in the box. Lofted to the last post. Borso. Well, the breeze is coming from the top of your screen towards the bottom of your screen. So anyone kicking from that direction to this direction has to take some mustard off the ball. Holiday. Evers. To his left is Kaiser. And the red shirts are starting to hunt in packs. And look at that wind that carried Evers' ball out for a throw. On this near side, Hoot. 1v1 with Kaiser. And the Ukrainian gets past the Ecuadorian. Borso. Mistrap allows Zukin to step in. Balagun. Zukin splits the two, gets it back from Rainbolt. Montenegro trying that reverse pass, but Cups read it all the way. If we try to allow the advantage to play on, but once Podeba was trapped, he brought the play right back. After this Carolina core game, Chicago would head back on the road to take on Huntsville City FC at 7 p.m. on April 11th. So they have a weekend off next week. Borso. Fleming to Borso. Luke makes the run. Inside is Tadine. And Zukin uses his body to perfection. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hyundai. Cups inside. Actually, it was Orbo. He was Zukin. Turning is Diaz. Kaiser to his left. Rainbow to his right. John in some space. Still John. Daith Jane steps in. And the South African wins the free kick. The Foxes can't believe it. Podeba, the former Golden Boot winner in the MLS Next Pro. Daith Jane giving chase. Orbo did not take any chances, and he concedes the throw in. Well, this Chicago team, just like the first team, enjoys the possession from deep, building out at the back, patience, trying to build up slowly but surely. John gets it, can't keep possession. Balagun, oh, beautiful play at the nutmeg, but couldn't get it back. Sandmeyer. Tudin outside. That's Jane. Tudin. And Nick's efforts saved by Holiday. The best build-up of the match. And it came from the Chicago team at home. Tudin out wide. Dythe Jane's back heel back to Tudin into the path of Nick. Holiday matching the effort. A cushion pass to Fleming. Podeba. Very much the creative playmaker in the last third. Borso. Podeba again. Well, not sure if he was in two minds, Podeba. Whether it was a shot or a pass. Either or, possession goes back to the Foxes. Zigas. Holiday. To this near side, beautiful pass. Finding Kaiser, but the pass coming out of the back. Kaiser couldn't match it. Borso, lovely shift. We love the fluency of this Chicago team. With Borso tucking inside, Podeba coming out wide. Dythe Jane. Slipping it through and stepping in was Orbo. Holiday. Balogun using that size and strength, but Sandmeyer matches it. Podeba. Klute. Well, they've been testing Holiday for the past few minutes, and the Carolina core #1 has matched them save for save. Excellent run by Klute. You would want him to find the runner at the last post. So Chicago's second corner of the match, this time going against the breeze, is Nick. Beats everyone and almost falling kindly for Sandmeyer. 6s and 7s at the back with this cross. Nick's delivery, it was curling away. No one got a piece of it. It bounced freely, and Sandmeyer, the centre-back, almost capitalizing. Holiday under pressure. Out by Eva. Just about 10 minutes to go, 9 minutes now in this first half. Both teams have enjoyed possession in midfield. Chances at the beginning, Carolina core with Zirkane, and then Chicago stepping in midway through the first half and bringing out the best of Holiday. Balogun's back heel to Rainbolt. Diaz. Klute. Dispossessed. Diaz has some white shirts filing around him. Delicate pass to John. Nagel coming across. Montenegro inside. Montenegro. Well, you can see he was trying to hook it to that last post to find Balogun. But the build-up is something that coach Donovan Ricketts has to be impressed with. John, quick thinking. Montenegro trying to hook it one time. Too close to Pratt. Coming out at the back was Kaiser leaving his left back post. That was Borso to find some freedom. Evas close in. Low cross, top of the box, Daith Jane. Borso, onside. This one to the back post, looking for Nick. Well, the shaky start by Chicago. Coach Markovic predicts that the team will settle down in about 10 weeks or so. That seems like an eternity. But if you know anything about this Chicago Fire 2 team, it is all about the development. So young players will be shifting and changing. Players from the first team will be coming down. So he doesn't foresee any difference in the next or the upcoming weeks. Coach Markovic. Diaz finds Kaiser and they drive into the back of Cups. Playing out at the back. Podiba wins the free kick. It's all part of the energy and the output. Diaz had no business fouling Podiba, but the intensity cannot be turned off by soccer players. And despite Podiba being in a non-threatening position, Diaz still has that pipe turned on to full. Borso. Needs to his right. Top of the box. With time is Fleming. Through the space. Back to Fleming. And the back heel not worked off. Came off of Nix's shoulder. The effort by Podiba off the shoulder of Evers. Chicago starting to dominate proceedings in midfield and pinning the Foxes back. Borso. Sandmeyer. Carolina Core sitting now in a low block. Daith Jane finding space, but stepping in was Diaz. Free kick for the Foxes. Less than 5 minutes to go in this first half, and Zerkane on the ball provided the Foxes' best effort so far in this first half. It was a low drive to Pratt's left. Chicago's number 1, or to be exact, number 91. Had a fantastic save. Ziga's facing the wrong direction. Here's Holiday. Switching sides. And look at that wind, holding it up. Falls kindly for Podiba. Dispossessed, Diaz. Now they have some daylight. Bala going to his right. And Diaz runs right into Cups. Tudin. Coach Markovic said he was very clear on having patience with Tudin. The number 37 in the middle of the park. Here he is. Podiba almost splitting Kaiser and Orbo. Nick. Free kick, that was Tredin going down. Taken quickly, Podiba. Borso shows. Superb run by Hlut. Early delivery, can't get past Evers. Holiday wanted it, but his centre-back, of course, didn't want to take any chances with a red shirt being behind him. Nick's corner. 4 red shirts in the box. Good delivery. And it glanced off the head of Podeba. John back inside. Balagon, who came back for the corner kick. Rainbow's back heel. Tight chain can't control it. He gets it back. Podeba to his right. Here he is. Nick. Nick! Well, either side of Holiday would have caused a worry, but it went straight to the goalkeeper, who lost his footing with his distribution. Here's Zerkane. John. Game picking up towards the end of the first half. Dispossess. Daith Jane. Now Sandmeyer. Fleming. Daith Jane makes the run. Orbo closes in, and the slide tackle works to perfection. Centre-back wins this battle. Podeba. Just about 25 seconds remaining in this first half. Not much injury time to be added. Montenegro. Trying to drive this team forward. And with doing so, gives back possession to Chicago. 1 minute of injury time to be added. Turning in space, Tudine toes it outside. Nagel. Tudine continues to run. Lovely run by Nagel, but Orbo has been steadfast at the back for this entire first half. And Balagon completely just shoves the Chicago player to the ground. That was Fleming. Sandmeyer being direct. Porso. Zerkane gives up a free kick. And this, if Chicago play their cards right, will be the last sequence of the first half. And looks like Nick has read it superbly. He's going to take his time and put this ball just beyond the penalty spot for his centre-backs such as Cups and Sandmeyer to run onto. Lofted in, and the header coming from Sandmeyer. And that will do it at Segra Field. 45 minutes in the books. A game with two teams searching for rhythm. And Carolina Core trying to patch up their 2026 season. They hold Chicago Fire to a 0-0 first half scoreline. That's our first half score. Coming in this halftime, a Ted Lasso star visits this Chicago Fire 2 team. And we check in with former Tacoma star Georgie Minongo. Halftime starts after this timeout.
us. Can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Wins it!
As halftime continues, let's get to know the continuing journey of former Tacoma Defiance star Georgie Minungo in this incredible story.
Minungo, numbers for Seattle, looking to put this one to bed. Minungo! This one's in bed, and Georgie Minungo puts it there.
Minungo again running at Yaboa, again stepping over, byline, Minungo!
Georgie Minungo is as unpredictable as any player I've seen play for Seattle in MLS history.
Come from a Christian family, you know. My mom raised me with love and a lot of smile, and like she gave me like all like good education, like always happy whatever is coming, you know. So like I feel like me, I can't play without joy, you know. As soon as I play like with no joy, I'm not happy, and I'm trying to, you know, to enjoy what I'm doing and like always be like normal, natural, you know. So that's me, you know, smile, you know, that's the thing.
For a long time, nobody in Seattle knew the name Georgie Minungo. But in a small village near the western edge of Ivory Coast, the game was already shaping him.
There was no rule, there was no restriction. We play like 9v1, you know, you have the ball and you have to, like 9 defenders against you, and then you have to dribble all of them to go score, you know. That's how I grew up.
He played in the street, sometimes with a ball made of plastic bags. There were no coaches, no tactics, just a game, and a joy that never left him.
It was fun. We played like on the street, you know, the ball wasn't like a real ball. It was a very good time, you know. I enjoyed those times, and every time I go back home, I have to play against my friend, yeah.
When he came to the US, he still had a lot to learn. He studied tape, asked questions, learned where to be and why.
Before training, I went in their office because I didn't really know like about the positioning, the tactical stuff, you know, but they helped me every time. They helped me grow. Like I saw like how I improve a lot, you know, and my level like goes to the next level, you know, because they've been there since the first day. They saw the potential in me, and they decided to help me. They really did the job, you know. So I really appreciate that, and like that's why I'm in the MLS level now, yeah.
Early in 2023, he was close to signing with the Sounders' first team. Then, without warning, his life changed drastically.
Like I did a great preseason, even score. Like I was so good in preseason, and we came back, you know, training, and then stuff like that happened. You know, it was like all my world like goes down. Like I didn't really know, like, was like, bro, what's really going on? I'm about to live my dream, and then like this stuff happened, you know. But like, you know, I'm a son of God. Whatever happened, you know, is God will decide, you know. And I decided to fight and not let this thing affect me, you know. The doctor was saying like, no, maybe it's not possible that you might play one day, but I was like, no, I'm gonna fight through. I'm gonna play even if I have one eye. I'm gonna be the best. Everybody's gonna say, oh, this kid has one eye, but he's even better than those who has two eyes. And that's my mindset now, you know. No matter where I go, no matter how defender is good, or like I'm gonna go through and then I'm gonna play. I'm gonna be the best winger in this league, and that's my mindset. That's how I get to the first team.
Then, another blow. His father passed away.
My family didn't want me like to be. They know that this thing affects me, you know, and they didn't want me to go back to my country, and then like I'll be so much affected that when I came back, you know, my game will not be the same, you know. And that moment I just signed with the first team, so that was the moment to help the team. So I talked to my mom. She was like, Georgie, I know you want to come, but for me, I think like the good thing for you to do is to stay and help your team, you know. And I know your dad will tell me, if he was there, he would say the same thing, you know, because my dad like will never want me to leave training or something like that to just go do other thing, you know, because he's been helping me a lot since I used to be a kid to just keep training and stuff like that, you know. So like I listened to my family, and then I decided to stay and then play for my dad. And then after, at the end of the year, I went back to see everything, and yeah, that wasn't easy, you know, playing with knowing that your dad passed away and you can't even go over there, like just seeing for last one time, you know, it's very tough. But I decided to play for the team because I love the team, and yeah, that's the more important thing. I have a lot of people here supporting me, so that was huge.
Right towards the spot. That one's sidelined. Touched in by Meningo.
Ball come on me, I just put it in, you know. And in that moment, I was thinking about my dad, you know, because my dad passed away the day before. So the coach even asked me, Georgie, are you sure like you can play? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play. So, you know, scoring that goal, and then like I was crying even at the end, you know, everybody come to support me, but that was a good moment for me. And I even, you know, put my hand on sky, you know, to say, yeah, Dad, I know you over there, but, you know, like I'm playing for you now. And that was a good moment, you know, and thanks God for everything, you know, and that was one of the best moments of my life, yeah.
He's proven he belongs. Now, he wants more.
I'm always fighting, but my goal is like, you know, to be the best in my position, try to score goal, assist, and try to help the team win trophy, you know. We never know like how it's gonna end, you know, but everybody's dream is to play like, you know, maybe one day in Europe, Champions League, something like that, you know. Never know, that's my dream too, you know, but now I want to help the team, you know, the same way the team helped me too.
He's not just here for himself. His journey is a message.
Whatever you want in your life, go find it, go get it. Because if you don't do it, maybe in the future, one day you're gonna regret it, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I could, maybe no. In my mind, there is no maybe. Either I find a way to do that, or either like I create myself a way to do that. So that's my mindset.
Welcome back. It's 0-0 in Segra Field as Carolina Core try to find their first win and Chicago try to continue their winning ways. It's not an act. One of our favorite Ted Lasso actors did make an appearance in a camp and can play, and we tracked him down to talk about the experience with the Chicago Fire in this video.
Hola, hola, this is Cristo Fernandez, and we're here at the new facilities in Chicago Fire. Very happy and grateful to be here. I know I've been doing more acting and filmmaking these last couple of years. I would have never imagined how life was gonna turn for me. Never imagined that with my new dreams of film and acting, football, soccer was gonna be the thing that was gonna open them for me. I say this because I've always missed football, soccer. That's my first love. The level is very intense, young upcoming players, so lots of potential in this club. I can say that this is world-class level. I played professionally back home in Guadalajara. We didn't have this level of world-class facilities. I think the club is doing something great for both the city, the team, the players. It's a dream come true for anyone to be here, so for me it's also a dream come true to be here now, and I am grateful for the opportunity. What has surprised me is the level of the team. I've seen both the first team, the second team, the players, they're doing something great. And what surprised me as well is the quality of the people, very nice people. And that also says a lot about the club, and I think that's very important. It's been really nice getting back to the field, training, and really giving my best and believing I still can play this professionally, and we'll see where the dream takes us. But it's been really nice.
We're back in Segra Field, 0-0 at the half. Chicago Fire tried to find a goal, and Carolina Core FC have been holding strong. Let's check our scores and schedules for the upcoming week. Last week's scores: Columbus Crew gets 2 goals over FC Cincinnati. Dynamo, they're on the score sheet over North Texas. Colorado Rapids 2 down to Earthquakes at home. Huntsville 4-2 on penalties over Chattanooga. New York City FC down 5-0 to Toronto. Upcoming schedule: packed day on Monday, March 23rd. Timbers host Ventura. Saturday next week, Carolina Core host Inter Miami. Sporting KC St. Louis. Chattanooga hosts Columbus Crew. That's a big one. Whitecaps host LAFC. And on Sunday for the nightcap, New England hosts the Red Bulls. So when we come back, we'll have some highlights of this first half as Chicago Fire trying to continue their winning ways, but it was Carolina Core with Diaz getting to the byline, hooks it back, and it was Zirkane getting the best out of Pratt. It was the best effort so far for the Core. Then John's free kick pops out for Rainbolt. His drive off of Sandmeyer's head, corner number 2 for the Foxes. Then a build-up play, the back heel by Dythe Jane into the path of Nick, and Holiday low down to keep it at 0-0. Then Poreba finding Holt, and his shots straight to the goalkeeper, and Holiday again keeping up his great form. Well, the stats: 8 shots to 7, pretty even. Shots on target, similar again. With possession, Chicago Fire have been pulling the strings, especially in the second half of the first half. So when we come back, we'll have the start of the second half in Segra Field.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
And we're right back to Segra Field for the second half between Chicago Fire 2 and Carolina Core FC. The home team gets us back on the way in red shirts from right to left. This one is cleared away by Evers. Sandmeyer. And here is Nagel getting his first touch in the second half. Anthony Sumo Jr., the Liberian youth international, comes in to replace Dylan John. Sumo Jr. started every match but this one so far for this season for the Core. So far for the Core, it's been Rainbows playing behind Balagoon in a 4-2-3-1. And this man, Zirkane, coming up from deep, striding. Zigas to his right, still Zirkane, trying to hook it back to find Zigas. And you have to say it was a wasted effort by the midfielder. A bit of an entanglement between Sandmeyer and looks to be the substitute Sumo. Calmly brought down by Zigas, but given away. Tithe chain. Nick, who's been a busybody up top. He was partnering Klute for most of the time. Nagel. And Chicago so patient in their build-up in the first team, and so too the second. Nagel. Tithe Jane. And the South African ran out of real estate. It's going to be a goal kick for the Foxes. Well, this Chicago team has to be excited. They're right back. Their homegrown talent, Dylan Borso, the right back who's playing today, has been called up for the second time for the US men's national team U20 camp. As the Fire continue to blossom young talent and stay loyal to their first team. Balagoon has gone down. Referee says play on. Superb tackle by Orbo. Only as far as Nick. Death Giant coming inside. Podeba's shots falls kindly now. And the ball comes through the crowd for Holiday. Well, this Carolina Core team, independent soccer team in MLS Next Pro, one of only two teams with Chattanooga FC that played in the US Open Cup last week. They bowed out to Virginia Dream at home, disappointingly, after taking the lead against the Dream, eventually losing 2-1. And before that match, had a lead against Orlando City, a 2-0 lead. And then a flurry of goals by Orlando City in the second half saw the visitors win 3-2. Lutz. Kaiser, the young Ecuadorian left back, has put in quite a shift in the first half. Here is Borso. A little too nonchalant, but gets back the second bounce. Sandmeyer, who got a first team contract last week. Thumbs up for Lute, and it's going to be a throw-in on the far side for the Core. You can see the breeze swirling around with the corner flags. It is 38 degrees at kickoff in Segra Field. Cold may be an understatement to describe the conditions today. Tithe Jane. Nick falls kindly for Lute. Borso Hounded by Diaz, and those two have been going at it hammer and nail, Diaz and Borso. There is Diaz. Couldn't get it back. Here is Cups. And Cups, like Borso, has been called up to the US men's U18 national team roster. They'll participate in the 2026 Torneo Internacional de Lisboa in Lisbon, Portugal, in March 26th to the 31st. Exciting times for the U18s and Cups. Sanmaya, delicate pass. Well, Coach Donovan Ricketts getting Balagoon to be his centre forward and his target man for the upcoming fixtures. And Balagoon clumsily goes over Nick. And you can see the aftermath. There are no politeness or apologies today. Fleming floating it to this near side. Sumo Jr. twisting. First time he's really got onto the ball since coming in as a substitute at the beginning of the second half. Superb turn by Poreba, who seems to be drifting all over the pitch. Fleming. Daitjin driving forward, important touch by Sumo. Sanmaya switching. Borso, awkward bounce for the right back. And here comes Kaiser, the left back. Balagoon to his right. And he can't turn past Sanmaya as Rainbolt was making a run. Lut threads it for Nick. Orbo on his shoulder. Lut gets it back. Slide tackle coming in. Sumo, the Liberian Youth International. Rainbow to his right. 1v1 with Nigel. Floating it forward. Balagoon just trying to nod it back to Sumo. Fleming, who has been the orchestrator of this Chicago team for the first 45, and doing so again in the second half. Borso. Fox is now in a low block, and Carolina are starting to play with a little bit of swagger with Diet Jane and company up top. Baki was coming from Tudin. Poreba, who's playing a little bit deeper today. Can play attacking midfield, can play centre forward. Borso's cross. Eva's clearing. So too Kaiser. The wind is an issue. Anytime the ball goes up in the air, it is floating and hanging in the air for players to get under it. Rainbolt. Orbo. Zukin. Zukin under pressure. Orbo. Evers trying to force it to Rainbolt, and somehow they keep it in. No, they don't. It's going to be a throw in for the Fire. This portion of the match is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Here is Cups, the newly appointed U18 call-up for the US men's national team, U18 team. Nigel. Patience has been the formula for the Fire teams, the MLS team and the Next Pro team, in building out of the back. Coach Markovic making it very clear what happens upstairs is what we do downstairs. Nick into the path of Nagel. Can he make use of the space? Dive chain in the middle. Tudine was approaching. Ooh, tackle by Sumo Jr. And it's going to be the first yellow card of the match. Apologies from the substitutes, but it makes no difference. Nigel was counter-attacking. As he pulled up the brakes, Sumo Jr. just dived in. And that's going to be a yellow card every day of the week and twice on a Sunday. Now, Nick, who's been the dead ball specialist so far in this match, is going to take responsibility again. Cups and Sandmeyer have made their way just beyond the D on top of the 18-yard line. Fluth is at the back post, covered by Kaiser. Poreba is right here on the left of the D. Drives it forward. Falls kindly for Fluth. Dijkjen. Early ball in. Well, the Fire have been busy. They've announced, Chicago Fire 2 announced the acquisition of French forward Tidane Diarra to an MLS Next Pro contract through 2026 season with a club option for the 2027 transition season. Diarra, who's only 20 years old, joined Chicago from the French 3rd division. He was a Lyon Academy player. Nigel. Borso. Fluth makes a run. Lovely turn on Kaiser and wins the free kick. Tell you what, Kaiser has had to pick up Borso as well as Fluth on that left-hand side. That is no easy task. Sandmeyer. Dijkjen is coming short to Nigel, who's on the ball. Dijkjen cleans up. Trying to flick it inside, but nowhere to go. And now Nigel returns the favor on Sumo Jr. The stats so far in this match, possession-wise, the Foxes have only had 40%, but if you can spring balls like that to Sumo Jr., it's not going to matter. Sumo's cross, good delivery, and Balogun had a golden opportunity to test Pratt. Through ball, Sandmeyer giving chase. Sumo Jr. holds him up, and a delightful ball to the last post, and there was Balogun, who was fooled from Borso's header. Borso had a sigh of relief when he saw Balogun miss his chance. Ooh, a heavy touch by Pratt, and he had to take evasive action, and the follow through by Rimbold has caught Pratt on his knee. And now Chicago Fire's number 2 goalkeeper. He's back on his feet, but he didn't like the follow through by Rainbow here. But Rainbow had every opportunity and every right to challenge Pratt after that heavy first touch that put the goalkeeper in a very precarious position. So Balogun, that was his last attempt. He is now departed as Coors make their second substitute for the evening. Number 22, Nathan Brown, a defender, comes in for number 14, Balogun, the centre forward. So the question is, who's going to take up Balogun's spot as the out-and-out striker, as the very defensive Nathan Brown steps in. Looks like Sumo Jr. is going to step in to be the centre forward, and Brown is going to take his spot. Staying in that 4-2-3-1. And Chicago Fire too in their very stubborn 4-4-2. Lute, clever ball, Dyke Jane. He has Neagle in support. Tudine makes a run just beyond the penalty spot. And he picks out none of them. Lute being involved yet again. Nodded down by Sumo Jr. Here's the New Zealander, the number 20, Rainbold. Ziegers, fresh off his first only professional goal so far in his career, midweek in the US Open Cup. More changes. Klut, the number 68, is departing. The Ukrainian winger who put in a shift is now coming in for Oscar Pineda, who is family to Mauricio Pineda, who played in the MLS. Taking their time as Orbo. That was a risky pass. Here's Pineda's first touch. Kaiser trying to stretch the legs of Sumo, and he gets there before Cups. Superb recovery from the centre back. Sumo goes down, he feels the contact, and that is not the wisest of decisions by Cups to put his two hands out on the back of Sumo Jr. Now Carolina get a free kick in a very dangerous position, and that's going to allow players like Ziegers, Orbo and company to push up. Seven white shirts or grey shirts to pick out for the Foxes. Sumo Jr. is just beyond the penalty spot. Orbo is in there, the tallest of the customers in the box. Floated to the last post. Excellent punch by Pratt. He had Sumo coming right in on top of him, and he was brave enough to just punch it clear. And look at the breeze that they have to work with. Rainbow, who's been exceptional with that left foot of his, is going to have to really put some mustard on this to drive it through the wind. Back again to the last post. And on the wrong side of that goal was Orbo. This portion of the match is brought to you by Carvana. Well, Carolina have been stubborn and organized against this Chicago Fire team, who came off that win against Chattanooga FC, 2-1. As the call continue to probe and look for a goal on Segra Field. Good ball in by Zigas. And Chicago continue to boast. Their young players continue to blossom. Victor Radojevic, who did not suit up today. Why, you might ask? He started against Chattanooga FC, but he's returning to Serbia's U21 squad for 2 matches in Turkey and against Kyrgyzstan and Japan from March 26th to the 30th. So you can see international players are being called back to their squads for this Chicago team. Coach Makovic has been a busy body in trying to get the best out of his youngsters. Like an eagle, who just drew a free kick, and that's going to allow Nick, taken quickly. Daitchin trying to hook it across into the path of Poreba. So Nick, who's as reliable as a Swiss watch, will take this corner kick on this near side. Against the wind. Out comes Holiday. Nick has a better angle to work with here. Decisions. Nick goes to the line. Superbly played by Brown. Gives up a corner, but Brown, who just came in, was on his P's and Q's against Nick. Sandmeyer just past the penalty spot. Fleming next to him. Cups just behind Sandmeyer. Good delivery. Excellent header. Diaz. Superb turn. But the recovery has been exceptional. That's Nigel. Poreba. Such quick feet, but the tackle was measured by Carolina Core. Poreba cleans up. Nick loses his footing on a wet day. Pineda, who's exceptionally technical on the ball. His brother Mauricio Pineda plays for the Mexican U17 team. Nick. Pineda. Daitchin looking for it, can't get it. Carolina pinned back. But if they can hold on to this possession, they'll have some daylight to counter. But there are no alleyways to escape. As Carolina, as just Chicago Fire 2 team, is very, very clear with their identity. Nick tries to go direct, beats Kaiser. Borso. Floats it to the last post. So neither of these keepers has kept a clean sheet so far in 2026. Holiday making his debut for the Carolina Core in the Open Cup on Wednesday, losing by 2-1. As for Pratt, he was beaten against Chattanooga. Here is Cups. And then there's a play on the ground. And Coach Mike Makovich is off of his seat. This is going to be the 16-year-old Tudin. And this is 4th appearance in 4 matches for the Chicago Fire 2 team. So looks like that's the end of Tudin's evening. And the call from the sidelines is going to be Bolts, the forward, to replace Tudin. So Dean Bolts will make his entrance.
Substitution for Chicago Fire 2. Enter number 28, Dean Bolts. Number 37, Robert Jardine.
This is Dean Bolts' 3rd appearance so far in 2026 for Chicago. No goals and an assist. Last season had 2 goals in MLS Next Pro with this very team. And before that played in the USL League One with Ford Madison FC. Played just 5 matches for them. Nick Kaiser, who's been superb, the young Ecuadorian left back this entire match, going toe-to-toe with Borso, going toe-to-toe with Nick when he comes across. So to Poreba when he drifts to his corner. Nigel against Zigas. Taith Jane onside. Twisting and turning the South African. Drives it out by Orbo. Pratt way out of his neighborhood. And you can see the gentle rain passing through on your screen every so often. That's why some of the players are slipping and sliding and losing their footing. Awkward hop, Sandmeyer. Holiday's clearance into the path of Rainbolt, and the New Zealander having a hard time controlling proceedings in midfield. Excellent stop by Kaiser again. And this Carolina team, established in 2022, joined MLS Next Pro in 2024. The inaugural season, 12 wins, 12 losses, 4 draws, 3 of those penalty wins in their opening season. Roy Lassiter, the centre forward, former Tampa Bay Mutiny centre forward, was the head coach. He was relieved by Donovan Ricketts rather. Borso trying to get the better of Kaiser. Fleming, Taith Jane. That was Zigas again, and the header, the follow-up, coming from the substitutes, number 28, Bolts. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allstate. Zirkin, Zigas, not on the same page with Sumo Jr., who drops his shoulders in disappointment. Taith Jane coming inside, drawing a crowd, and if he escaped that crowd, would have had some room to play with, but the Foxes made sure that the South African, who just signed a first team contract, didn't progress. So just to confirm, It is raining in Segra Field to complement the 38 degrees at kickoff. Eat your heart out, Chicago. Sandmeyer. Excellent anticipation. Montenegro. And a beautiful switch of play, inviting Diaz. Almost finding Rainbolt, but it's Sandmeyer to the rescue. Nigel. Change of pace. Just about 15 minutes remaining in a very stubborn match between the Foxes and Chicago Fire 2. Both teams have been compact defensively, have shepherded away any sort of real chances on Pratt and Nick Holiday. And the ones that did squeeze through, Holiday was at his very best, and Pratt had a fantastic save against Zirkane in the first half. Since then, it's been a lot of side-to-side passing and fantastic defending. They're hunting in parks. Look at Zirkane crowding out Borso. Borso is out of position and making the run is Kaiser. So too Sumo Jr. Kaiser makes the run. Montenegro on the inside. Superb sliding tackle by Cups. And offside the call. And the Ecuadorian wingback, who has put a shift in this match, is a little slow to get back to his feet. Sandmeyer. Jason Shukaluk came downstairs to play against Chattanooga FC. And the former Golden Boot winner secured that win last week for the Fire. Borso against Evers. Good deep cross. That was Brown's header. Tight Jane. Lost his footing. Nigel hooks it inside. Podeba, nowhere to go. Pineda, can he use his technical brilliance to unlock things from deep? And the core are pinned into their own half. And with Sandmeyer and Cups stepping in now, only Pratt is the only player in the Chicago Fire 2 half of the field. Taith Jane. Podeba. That's a corner. Can a set piece, a dead ball, be enough for the home side to get on the board? Sandmeyer and Cups make their way up the field, so too Pineda. Making their way back is Nigel, and any player below 5'7". And it almost falls kindly for the big centre back. That was Cups, who came in at the last post and just couldn't finish for quality. Well, the core continue to make changes to bring fresh legs on the pitch. The New Zealander, the Kiwi, Thomas Rainbolt, will depart, the attacking midfielder. And Mohamed Diakite will step in. Very tall man, Diakite. Rainbolt was very much an attacking midfielder. Interested to see how Diakite lines up. He plays a holding midfielder, and looks like they're going to ask Montenegro to step in behind Sumo Jr. Borso, lovely turn. Clever tackle coming from Zekane. He's frustrated with Kaida. Inside, Fleming. And Diakite uses that size and strength to get past Fleming. Montenegro, can he make use of it? Has to go back, and the Fire will retreat. Chicago Fire will have next week off, and they travel to Huntsville City FC on Saturday, April 11th. Diaz. As for Carolina, they will host Inter Miami. Inter Miami have been struggling as of late, and with Carolina not in the best of form, if they can eke out a draw or a win away to Chicago Fire, that will give them the confidence to then maybe push on at home against an Inter Miami team that's been lagging. Pratt's low drive. Diakite. Sumo. Cups was right in his hip pocket. Superb turn by Diakite. And it's Sumo Jr. What a chance to steal it at the end. It was Diakite doing all the hard work, and a delicate pass to the centre forward. A little dink on the outside of the foot. And you have to say, you have to do better than that, Sumo Jr. He actually scored last week against Orlando City. He's a striker in form, but didn't take his chance. Coach Ricketts will be kicking the dirt after that attempt at a finish. But since Diakite has come on, things have changed in midfield for the Foxes. Deep cross by Borso. Right back to left back, Nigel. Clever ball inside, Poreba. Can't give him room, Poreba. That was Orbo. Borso! Oh, off the post. Poreba. Fleming! Good save by Holiday. He saw it all the way. Patience by Chicago. Reflexes by Holiday. Started on the right side. Good deep delivery. That was Nick finding Nigel. And he hooks it inside for Poreba. His shot. Cannons off of Orbo. Look at Borso. Low down to the ground. It beat Holiday. The post to the rescue. Then Poreba again, across the face of the goal. It's Fleming this time. And there's Holiday with another good save. He's had quite a few today so far. And Sumo Jr., can he make up for his miss? Long strides. And he can't keep it in on the very slick surface of Segra Field. Chicago looking to make a change with just over 5 minutes remaining.
Substitution for Chicago Fire 2. Leave the bench number 12.
So Damian Villanueva will check in. Villanueva is a midfielder. And Daith Jane, the South African who has a first team contract Started last match, started this match, has been pulled for Villanueva. Now we have an official on the sideline to give the referee and ask for a substitution. Zerkian is asking the referee, and looks like the referee will oblige. Zerkian out, and number 23, Aguirre, will check in. So Robinson Aguirre, the US Youth National Team midfielder, who has excellent vision, is replacing Mendy Zerkian, who had the best chance early in the first half to test Pratt. Pratt's brilliance kept the score at 0-0. Players are slipping and sliding in the last 4 minutes of this match. It is going to provide some entertainment, and there may be, quote and unquote, a slip-up in the next few minutes. Nick, who's come down from the forward line to this wide left-hand side. He drifted over to the right-hand side just minutes ago. Nigel. Nick makes a run. Fleming. There is Nick. Twisting and turning is Nick. And running right into a crowd. Podeba. Fleming. Now they're going to switch sides. Borso. Excellent run by Villanueva. Superb turn. Quick feet. Villanueva couldn't top off the dribble with a shot as he himself lost his footing. Brown. Montenegro has excellent ball control and vision in midfield. 2 minutes remaining in regular time. Not much injury time to speak of. Pratt, who's been a spectator in the second half. His deliveries from goal kicks have been below par, it has to be said. Something I'm sure Coach Markovic, who's been pays such attention to detail. What a turn on that far side. Montenegro trying to square it back, but the grass of Segra Field does its job. It's almost like the leprechaun in Boston Garden, where it takes an awkward bounce on the parquet floor. Segra Field has a mind of its own at this point. Poor touch by Fleming. Diakite. Montenegro. His touch was contagious from Fleming. Pineda out wide. Nick. The Swiss forward. Mr. Dependable. Superb touch. Kaiser delicately finds Diakite. 20 seconds to go. Very, very tough conditions for the players. Cold and rainy. Very wet field. And it's going to be a free kick now, as you can see Kaiser just goes slipping and sliding. And that will do it for the 90 minutes. All eyes on referee Beich, whose 2 minutes of injury time will be added. And here comes the hamstrings. The cramps are going to set in. Their cleats are heavy, their socks are heavy because of the rain and wet. Holiday is going to try to help him out. And Evers is back on his feet, the big centre back. Holiday, if he can keep his footing, has Diakite and Sumo to try to pick out. And they, of course, can present a second ball for some runners. Here's Sumo, out by the towering Sandmeyer. Nick. It's a nightmare for defenders to track runners. Borso. Lovely pass by Podeba. Borso hooks it back. Villanueva, who lost his footing the last time he tried a shot. Pineda. Nigel. 4 red shirts in the box. Great job by the core just to force them. Podeba goes down and referee calls a free kick. And by all accounts, this is going to be the last sequence of the match. And referee Beich is making very sure that it's the correct blade of grass in which Chicago Fire 2 are going to have to take this free kick. Sandmeyer and Cups have made their way into the opposing box. It's going to be the veteran, when I say veteran, Podeba, who's now in his mid-20s. Former Golden Boot winner. Villanueva is thinking of making a run down the line. Fleming wants it direct. So too Sandmeyer. Important to stay onside Chicago. Podeba's delivery. And he went for goal, and his players, his teammates can't believe it. And that is the last attempt on Segra Field. Carolina Core FC earned their first point, and Chicago Fire will feel a little let down as they have had the lion's share of possession and opportunities. They come away with a draw, 0-0 in Segra Field. Both sides share the points. Now we are going to head to a penalty shootout. Well, the highlights, the full-time highlights between Carolina Core FC and Chicago 2. It was Zirkane bringing the best out of Pratt. It was the best chance for the visitors to lean into the path of Nick and Holiday, who's been in form since midweek. Pulls off an easy save. Podeba, excellent run and punched away. That was being tested by. Here's Nigel's ball back in. It was Podeba. His shot cannons off audible. Borso's effort hits the post as he closes the Fire game in the second half. And then Podeba again. Fleming's drive, and again Holiday up to the task. So the coin toss has been taken points have been shared, 1 point apiece. Each side now is looking for that extra point in trying to win a penalty shootout. 5 penalties apiece. If the score is tied after penalties, we'll go to sudden death. One kick each. Carolina Co has won the toss and selected to kick first. And stepping in is their talisman, Anthony Sumo Jr., the Liberian youth international, 26 years of age. Scored last week against Orlando City. Had a great chance in the second half to steal it with 8 minutes to go. Pratt came off his line. He tried to dink it, and it rolled past the last post. That would have been a punch in the gut to Chicago if it went in. But now Anthony Sumo Jr. has the opportunity on a windy, rainy day in Segra Field to give Carolina a lead in the shootout. The left-footed Sumo Jr. Look at the ball rolling. It is extreme. Referee is having a smile. There's nothing we can do. Look at the nets in the back of the post. They are being stretched by the wind. Now if the ball holds still, extreme pressure and conditions for Sumo Jr. And he tucks it home. He sends Pratt in the wrong direction. And now he wants a hold of the ball, and Pratt is not obliging. He looks to his left and goes right down the middle. Pratt was beaten 1-0 Carolina Co. Stepping up is Borso. The right back, Dylan Borso, just called up to the US men's national team, youth national team, for the second time, U20s. And goalkeeper Nick Holliday is applying some gamesmanship, cheekiness. He's taking his time. Referee is given him the death stare. And can Borso equalize? He does. Both players went right down the middle, and the keepers chose their right. Forget tap-ins, all laces, no power, all power, no placement, 1-1. So we have the very skillful Diaz, who is stepping up. He played on that left-hand side, tricky customer. Now Pratt dove to his right, Diaz is left, and the first penalty. Let's see where Pratt chooses now. Oh, and it hits the crossbar. Carolina Co have blinked first, tried to get under it and lift it. And the crossbar to the rescue for Chicago Fire. Stepping up is Fleming, the orchestrator in midfield. So the Foxes have taken 2 penalties. They've scored 1. This is Chicago Fire 2's second penalty. If they score, they push ahead. If Nick Holliday, with all of his gamesmanship, can force Fleming, and look at the breeze. Segra Field and the weather, they have a mind of their own at this point. Fleming, beautifully taken. A work of art, and we expect nothing else from the finesse orchestrator in midfield in Fleming. So now Chicago Fire 2 take a 2-1 lead. And Nick Holliday has delivered the ball to Diakite. Mohamed Diakite was brought on as a substitute. changed the game in midfield for the core. Just about 20 minutes to go in the second half. Not only does he have size, but he has grace and touch. And Diakite buries it. Like drinking a cup of tea on a wet, rainy night in Segrafield. Mohamed Diakite looks at the referee and he completely caught Pratt unaware and tucks it in for 2-2. However, Carolina Core, they have taken 3 penalties. So it is the former Golden Boot winner, Poreba, to step up, and Nick Holiday is making a meal of this. Poreba. Hesitation did the job. Forced Holiday the other way. And Poreba, look at the technique, the big jump, and then goes the other way. Fantastic shuffle step. So after 3 penalty kicks, the home side, Chicago Fire 2, lead by 3 goals to 2. And it's a young Ecuadorian. He has been highly touted. Jeffrey Kaiser, 21 years old, the new arrival in the off-season in the Ecuadorian U20 pool. And Kaiser's going to ask to reset the ball. And look at the wind. It is just giving the penalty kickers nightmares. Kaiser, beautifully done. The body language forced Pratt to the opposite direction. He leaned to the right and then went to the left. The technique between Fleming, Poreba and Kaiser has been special. Number 28, it's the forward Bolts who is going to get a chance to take a penalty in a windy night in Segrafield. 3-3 the score. The Foxes have taken an extra penalty. This number 4 for Chicago. And I will tell you that the wind is blowing the ball around. But as you know by now, this is becoming a common occurrence. Bolts to take the lead. He does. Holiday went way too soon. He showed his hand to Bolts. He flew across to his own right, and Bolts went to his left. So all eyes on number 23, Nathan Brown, who came in as a substitute, the left footer. And here comes the wind, having a say. Just to remind everyone at home, this is the last kick for Carolina Core. They must score this to stay alive. And they do. Nathan Brown has just given Nick Holiday a chance to keep Carolina in the game. He sends Pratt the wrong direction to tie the game up at 4-4. Now all the pressure swings to the home side. Chicago Fire 2 have given this ball to Oscar Pineda, who's probably the most technically gifted midfielder that they have in the Chicago Fire 2 lineup, and he can decide this match. So the breeze, the rain, and Nick Holiday are all there to try to prevent Pineda from winning the game for Chicago. Pineda! The best penalty of the lot. It had power, placement, and that has earned Chicago Fire 2 a second point in this match. It wasn't pretty, but they will take the 2 points Pineda delivers. And tonight's man of the match, the Adidas man of the match, is presented and secured by none other than the guy who scored the penalty. Oscar Pineda buries it to give Chicago the penalty victory, the penalty shootout victory, and earns them a second point in this match at home against Carolina Core FC. So it was a slushy, untidy match in Segra Field. The players had to weather the weather with 38 degrees and rain. The score finished at 0-0, but Chicago Fire 2 took the extra point in penalties, and that will do it for us in Segra Field. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, my name is Ryan Davis. Once again, the score 0-0 from Segra Field. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at mlsnextpro.com and OneFootball. Good afternoon and good evening.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.